Hey, Coach, can you hear me? No luck.
What are you laughing for? I was trying to tell you I couldn't hear you.
I heard a whisper, so I wasn't quite sure.
That doesn't mean that just because you can hear us that we can hear you.
This is fair. This is fair. We're going to go ahead and get started with John if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Good morning, Sean. And if Boyko,
Morning,
happy belated birthday to Boyko, because Nicole noted that he wasn't mentioned 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, happy birthday to Boyko.
That's a long time ago.
I'm glad I'm finding myself in the middle of this game. That's great.
But seriously, two of your losses have come against dual threat quarterbacks, and you struggled against the run in the running game in both those times. What gives you the belief that things can be different facing this team?
Yeah, thanks for that reminder, John. On that, I appreciate that. But they're a good team. They just beat a team that had beaten them twice, 2 out of 3 times, and they beat them. And they're, to me, one of the more complete teams in the playoffs. Well coached, extremely talented. So we got to play our best game.
What struggles did you see? I mean, what concerns did you see in those 2 games against, Kansas City and Arizona when they ran for more than 200 yards? And just do you feel that those corrections can be made going into this week?
Well, that's what we're working on. So we're going to go practice, John, in a few hours here, and we're going to work on that.
Fair. And last thing, what do you make of John Harbaugh and maybe what you saw of him as a potential future head coach back when you were in Philly? And he did kind of trash talk you yesterday. Just you. He complimented your wife, but he said you married out of your league.
Yeah. Well, I take that as a compliment. As far as John, yeah, I mean, he, you could always tell he had great leadership ability and comes from a football family. So he had the football acumen and intelligence that usually comes with growing up around the game. And I know he's just being around John like I was, he's very close to his family and they share a lot of the kind of things that come up for coaches. And so I think that was always kind of cool to watch. And so a lot of respect for Coach Harbaugh.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
I know you evaluated all the quarterbacks in the 2018 I know you like a good underdog.
You there? I can't hear it. Whoever's talking, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Sal. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
You guys got me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Coach. Sorry about that. Hey, I know you evaluated the 2018 quarterback class, including.
I can't hear it.
Sal, you're very, very low volume.
Okay.
All right. We'll go to Jay here. Sal, we'll come back to you.
Hey, Sean, it's Jay with the Buffalo News. The video last week of the guys dancing at practice, everybody loved it. To me, though, it sort of showed just a way that maybe they're trying to stay loose at a time when, the pressure of these games week to week gets bigger. To you, was that an example of just how those guys are trying to do just that, just stay loose in this moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think the key is just to be themselves, and you can sit here and talk about those things, or you can be yourself and enjoy the moment and get yourself ready to play. And I think just, one of the things that's special about our group is that they just go through their process every week and they enjoy being around one another. And, whether it was dancing to the music or a snowball fight a few weeks ago, I think that's pretty cool to watch. Those guys have fun and while getting themselves as professionals ready to play.
You're fond of saying that when guys come to Buffalo, you want them to be the best version of themselves. But Cole yesterday said that that's an easy thing for a coach to say. It's not as easy, though, to actually follow through and create that culture or that community. How have you done that where that those guys can feel like themselves in this building?
Well, we try and, I would say, Jay, it's probably a couple of things. I think, number one, we try and lay down very clear expectations, and then allow them to do their thing, allow them to be themselves within those boundaries, if you will. And then I also think it comes back to people. When you get the right people in the building, whether it's the training room, the coaching staff, along with the players, I think that helps build the environment whereby we're all aligned on the same page and everybody understands, how we do things. And so within that, guys can come in and be themselves in an environment, hopefully, that starts with a healthy amount of mutual respect for one another.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, you guys brought in Devonta Freeman to the practice squad. What did you see in him, and what could he add in that room?
Yeah, I mean, I had the unfortunate opportunity to go against him in the NFC South for a number of years. So I had a front row seat to witness what he's capable of doing. So, bringing him into the running back room, I think was a good move and by Brandon, and he adds to what we have, and we're trying to get him up to speed as quickly as possible here.
And yeah, on top of that, what are the challenges for guys like Devonta and Kenny Stills coming in here late in the program here and getting them up to speed enough to where they may be able to contribute at some point this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot in a short amount of time, a lot of information to digest in a short amount of time to get them ready to go. And that's kind of the biggest challenge.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, it's Sal. I'm sorry about that. I hope you can hear me a lot better now.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I know you evaluated the entire 2018 quarterback class. Obviously, Josh was a part of that, and Lamar, and even have Baker now playing this weekend. I know you like a good underdog story, a guy that's had his work up. I mean, what did you learn about these guys, both of them, in the evaluation process, and how cool is it to see these guys who I would say were pretty polarizing coming out of the draft to be able to have this success, together as a group coming, this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's really been fun to watch their careers unfold, and we were high on all of them, and we've got a lot of respect certainly now for Lamar, and they're running I think Greg Roman does a great job in the offense he's running, and they're very talented, and so they bring in Des Bryant in the middle part of the year to. And we've gone up against Des a number of times over the course of my career, and a lot of respect. Both, all these quarterbacks, the three that you mentioned, just been fun to watch their careers take shape.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, Adam Benini. Sal stole part of my thunder there, but more specific to Lamar. If you can think back, you obviously got the guy you wanted that made sense, and it's more than, played out that way with Josh. But there were so many questions about Lamar Jackson at that time, very legitimate people even questioning whether he could play the quarterback position effectively in the NFL. Do you remember what you kind of thought of him back then? And did you foresee him becoming what he is now?
Yeah, was very high on him. And I'm sure, like Baltimore, they had a vision for Lamar. We had a vision for Josh, and I think that's the key, and that's why it's cool to watch these players in their careers flourish like they have. And that's also, I think, a result of, and a credit to Baltimore and the environment that Coach Harbaugh has developed there. And I would say the same thing for us with Josh. So again, I think it's great for the league when you have young quarterbacks playing like these two, and then Sal mentioned Baker as well, like these guys are, including on the AFC side, Patrick as well with Mahomes there. So it's great for the league.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
All right, Coach, we're going to switch to some Baltimore national media. We're going to start here with Martenzi.
Hi, Sean. Martenzi Johnson with ESPN. Kind of piggybacking off of that, Lamar and Josh have both been pretty successful running and throwing the ball the past couple of years. What do you think that says about the ability for dual threat quarterbacks to not only be successful in the regular season, but now with both of them winning playoff games, to be able to take their teams deep into the playoffs?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's somewhat a result of the college systems that we're seeing, right? More and more of these quarterbacks are mobile coming out of college, and so I do think there's an added dimension to their game when they are mobile. So the defenses have gotten so fast, but at the same time they've had to counter what the offenses are doing with these mobile quarterbacks. So it's a continual, cat and mouse game, I guess, in terms of developing and having the right roster. So, it's whether it's regular season or postseason, they're a handful. These guys are headaches that can do both.
Thank you.
Sure.
Sean, when you go against the Ravens, how much do you just have to prepare for the aggressiveness defensively, and how much Wink Martindale is known to love blitzing, known to apply pressure at any and all times? How difficult is that to prepare for, and how much do you kind of have to keep that in mind?
Yeah, I mean, he does a great job. He's been at it for a number of years, and they came in here last year and I thought did a great job against us defensively, and so I think Wink he's creative with the blitzes on all downs, and they've got corners that can cover and guys inside that can rush that are difference makers. So very veteran group overall, including Wink.
Hey, Sean, when you look at your whole 3-year run with Josh Allen, what were you most excited about when he came in, and then where has he maybe even exceeded your expectations?
Well, I think you're excited anytime you draft a quarterback high that you think you certainly have a vision for, and you feel like he has the ability to become the face of the franchise and lead a team to successful seasons and years and sustain success at some point. But you also know that that's down the road because of the development that has to take place typically, and some of the growing pains that you have to go through. And so I think Josh has done a phenomenal job developing. He's worked extremely hard. He's loved by his teammates, and he respects the game. And so I think that's a great foundation.
I'm Jimena Lugo La Torre from Ravens Spanish Radio. Coach Sean, what are your thoughts about Governor Andrew Cuomo letting the fans enjoy the game this Saturday with a negative test?
Well, we certainly appreciate the opportunity to have fans. I know there's been a lot of hard work and hands in this that have gone on. It's gone on for some time, and certainly appreciate his willingness to grant us fans. And so we hope everyone again can continue to stay as healthy as possible, and that for our entire world, not just our community, but our entire world, that we can find a way to continue to mitigate the risk and get this thing taken care of here.
Thank you.
Sure.
Sean, I know you talked about the defense a little bit, but the Ravens defense has invested draft picks and salary cap space pretty heavily in their cornerbacks. When you look at that secondary, what do you see, and what does the talent there maybe allow that defense to do?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. They've got guys on the perimeter that can cover at a high level. And like you said, they've invested a lot of capital, draft capital, salary cap space, trade capital, whatever, in that position. And I thought those guys did a really good job last year against us, and it'll be a big challenge for us this year.
Hey, Sean, this is Jonas. I don't know if you personally Maryland, but he's obviously a local guy here. I know you played against him, I think in 2016 with Carolina. How far has he come since those early days? And I guess what does that just speak about his development and his willingness to get better?
Yeah, I think he really embraces, Jonas, that growth mindset that we talk about here, and he's determined to grow and get better every day. He's got a great passion to compete and great passion for the game of football, and he's a great teammate. So, I think it's been a blessing for us, and it's very clear that he is developed over the course of his career, which is a credit to him and the people that he puts around him that are going to continue to push him and hold him accountable.